Natasha, good evening. Well, this is, as you mentioned, the first time that we have really heard from Ukraine's president saying he's willing to give up territory to achieve peace. And it does look like both Zelenskyy and Putin, Russia's president, are both willing to work with the incoming administration to get there.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy making a major statement towards ending the years-long war with Russia. Zelenskyy telling Sky News he's willing to temporarily give up invaded territory in exchange for NATO membership for the rest of Ukraine.
If we want to stop the hot stage of the war, we should take under NATO umbrella the territory of Ukraine that we have under our control. That's what we need to do fast. And then Ukraine can get back the other part of its territory diplomatically.
Zelenskyy hinting in the interview that the umbrella would not be a full NATO membership, something Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected as part of any peace deal. Instead, it would be security guarantees from NATO countries like the US and UK.
No one has offered us to be in NATO with just one part or another part of Ukraine, because we can just give the NATO membership to the part of Ukraine that is under our control. Yes, it could be possible, but no one offered.
Zelenskyy's comments are a considerable shift from Ukraine's previous stance, insisting on reclaiming all territories, including Crimea, annexed by Russia in 2014. The shift comes after Russia launching another large-scale air attack on Ukraine's power grid this week, leaving millions in the dark. Putin saying the attack is in retaliation for Ukraine using U.S.-made missiles to strike the Kremlin. He also warned Ukraine not to fire any more U.S.-made missiles, or he would target Kyiv decision-making centers. And maybe even use the new ballistic missile, what he calls the Oreshnik. But Putin appears willing to work with the new administration to end the war in Ukraine. This week, Putin called President-elect Trump a clever and experienced man, adding he thinks he will find a solution given he made his way back to the Oval Office. Trump is promising to end the war in Ukraine on day one in office. Trump's team has suggested freezing the current front lines, with Ukraine previously agreeing to delay NATO membership for 20 years.
And Ukraine's foreign minister is now urging NATO leaders to invite them to Brussels next week as they try to gain membership in the last few weeks of Biden's presidency here. Natasha.
Alina Shirazi live in D.C. with that. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.